good day, everybody. Welcome to the Real Talk Show. I'm Kyle Joseph. I'm a twin sister today, and match. I don't know why she matching me today. Is he
Twin
seeing me?
sister.
Yeah, that's
Well, notice.
yeah,
Yes, we are kind of twins in a way. I wouldn't say in what way. It
yeah.
mightn't be, yeah,
Uh-huh. You know,
we might,
yeah. I don't know. This your earrings and your headset matching you too, Papa.
yeah, headset,
Wow.
earrings, the whole works. Yep,
Did
yep.
did Chrissy dress you tonight?
No, she did not.
And then we have the lovely couple in the house, Mark and Eva. Is he seen all this?
Hi, good night, guys.
Hey, good night, everybody. Hope you all enjoying the long weekend. I hope it feels as long as you want it to feel.
Nice.
Good night, guys. Welcome back to the Real Talk Show. We are live. Of course, you know if you're here, it means you know we live, right? But we want to encourage all of you that are here. Please make sure and share the stream because obviously we are now getting started. It's gonna be an awesome show. We haven't been here with you all for a little minute. So we're really excited to be here and share our Saturday evening with you. All of us here from Roots we're really happy to be here and to spend our evening with you. And I hope you all feel the same way as we love you all and we're really excited to be here with you all. So I want to encourage all of you to share the stream, all right? Make sure you get tea, you get popcorn, or snack, wherever the case is, and relax, rock back, and enjoy the show. Make sure and comment because we have some special prizes tonight. Of course, for those of you who are custom viewing, you will know, but for anybody who's here for the first time, we give prizes to you for commenting, guys. So this is a live stream. We have a conversation, some good conversation, and on top of that, you're winning a prize for conversing with us. Like, it's Saturday night, can't get any better than that, right? And on top of that, we have a special prize tonight. And our special prize tonight are tickets to the last flight production. It's a drama production, guys. It's awesome. I have seen the play a million times, literally a million times. Okay, well, it's not literally. But I've seen it a lot. And every single time that I've seen the play, guys, I am always in awe. I am not exaggerating. I'm not saying this because my husband in the play. I'm not saying this because my family doing the play. I mean it. I have seen a Broadway show, guys. Like legit. I went to New York, I saw a Broadway show. And honestly, there were periods in the Broadway show where I was like, all right, this is getting a little boring. But I was still there, but I didn't have that experience with Last Flight. So I'm telling you, I know I'm selling it, but I promise you, I'm not just selling it. I'm being honest. I wouldn't lie to you. I love you all too much to lie to you all. So guys, to win a prize tonight, we are giving away tickets for the Last Flight, and these tickets are valued at $150. So you're getting a real nice insight here, right? So be sure to comment so you can qualify to win a prize.
I was just going to say, you all could buy tickets as well. You could bring your family, your friends who looking for something to do on is the 21st of August. They'll be blown away. They'll have a great time. They will be impacted. They will leave with some message. I'm sure that will be a blessing in their life.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you might roll, you'll do all kind of things, but I know for sure you're gonna enjoy it, right? I promise you're gonna enjoy it. And like Mark said, we want to encourage you all. Once you're interested, feel free to reach out to us to purchase tickets as well, all right? So we're gonna get this show started tonight. We're talking about love. I know love. Y'all always hear with us when we have our shows there, but you see when we talk about love and relationships, get
right?
different right from you all. So get ready, guys. Our question to you tonight: does a couple have to be in love to get married? We want to hear what you all think. Start a comment right now. Answer my question one time. I want to see comments from you all coming in one time. Does a couple have to be in love to get married? And that's what we're talking about tonight. We're sharing, we're being honest, transparent. We want to hear what you all think. If you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. Let's get the show started. Kyle, take it away.
Anyways, you seeing people. We encourage everybody to share the stream and interact with it. I see Kwasi like he tagging the whole world.
Yeah, boy, we had to get through Kwasi tags to be able to read comments. We had to find comments. We had to scroll through them tags.
Yeah, so you want to tell Kwasi good night, You man sharing it right now. But we want to encourage everybody to interact with the scene. Jordan say yes. I don't know what you're saying yes for.
Now she's
But
talking about last flights. Like, yes,
oh,
she's
okay,
saying yes
okay.
for real. I don't know if you know the young people abbreviation, but FR is for real, for real. Okay,
Yeah.
Kyle?
Yes, I
Yeah,
tried.
yeah,
I
IDK, which is I don't know.
okay.
yeah.
I thought
So my
Mark,
guest
you had
is my friend.
good night, the most famous Alberto Mendez. I know Mark had to bring that in at some point.
you had to bring it to this. I thought the FR was a typo. You know, it just looked like a typing, and you spell
Yeah,
something
it
wrong.
just, yeah,
Yeah,
nah,
you're just pressing something on your phone that would actually look like. But
nah.
yeah. So guys, you tell us online before we start off the show, right? That do you think that people need to be in love? A couple need to be in love before they get married. And it's just an interesting question that we're gonna have. I have our back and forward, and because I wonder from experiences with certain people if there are a lot of people who actually were in love before they get married. I'm not saying that people who fall in love eventually, right? But just talking about before you actually say, all right, I want to marry this person. Do you think that people should be? Do you think a couple has to be in love in that kind of way, right? Because that's basically what sometimes people, two things people do in the court, right? They try to figure out if they love the person, like within some time, like some people call 3, 4, 5 years to figure out if they love the person, or even if it is they want to be with this person, right? But then there's some people who get married in 6 months, a year. And I would have a question if they was in love with the person. I don't know, right? I really don't know the answer to that, right? So maybe as we go along in the show, we could have some back and forth. People could even online share their thoughts, share their ideas, because there's some people who court for 5 years and then 3 years in the marriage, they're divorced. They're ready to get divorced. And you would say that, that 5 years they invest. How come after 3, 4 years they're ready to break up? And then there's some people who know each other for like maybe 2 years or a year and something, and they're happy and they're going strong, right? So a lot of people sharing their thoughts, and maybe as we're going along, Ava, maybe you want to read out one or two people. I see Katie, I see a couple people. Maybe you can just read one, like just have like an open part here where you read some people comments and statements as we go along.
Or, we have some people that are already saying yes. Kwasi actually said, duh, yes. Ayana says, no, they don't.
Nice.
Katie says they should. Of course, there are a lot of factors that contribute to a successful marriage. Love is a big factor. Of course, love is more than a feeling. Let me see. Nikki Chapman, good night. Should they be? Yes. Do they have to be? No. There's a difference. Should they be or do they have to be? So should they? Nikki saying yes. Do they have to be? She's saying no. Let me see who else we have here. Jordan, Daniel. Good night, Jordan. Jordan says yes, they should be in love. Katie wants us to start by defining love. I'm gonna read 2 more comments. Katie also says sometimes people confuse love with limerence. I'm not so sure what limerence. Chevron LaFleur is yes, they should, but a lot of times some people yes, they should, but a lot of times some people don't be in love before they get married. Right. So we have kind of both sides coming in.
Yeah, interesting, right? Okay, where's limerence, boy? I had to Google that word. Is that word or is a hippie word? Like, a young person word.
You gotta break that down for us.
Unless it's
Limerence.
a error, I don't know.
Nah, I Google it, man. I'll Google it with,
Yeah.
This is a state of infatuation or obsession with another person that involves all consuming passion.
Okay.
Yeah. So that it's actually a word. You're educating us to here today, Katie. Katie, in the house.
Thank you, Katie.
Hey. So we encourage everybody as we get along. The show also interact with the show. We have like about 20-something people watching, and only 6 people interact with it. So we need you guys to also interact with it, not just share it. That it will boost the algorithms, that more people will be able to see it, because of that's just how things work, right? Yeah. I was just about to explain it. Yes, yeah, Katie, welcome. Anyhow, yes. So maybe we could start off, guys, with maybe Unika, you could tell us, right? Is there a difference between is first thing first, are there different types of love in the Bible or just in life?
Yeah. Yes, there are different
Without
types
getting
of love.
in depth.
Yeah. Of course, there's. I think everybody
maybe
know
explain
by
different
now.
ways.
they have agape, they have filio, um, eros, right? And just with those three, agape is unconditional love, and I guess the place that you would get the the agape man is God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could only, I believe, you could only give agape if you have the love of God, if you have God in you. I don't think anybody capable of agape without God, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
what God is, right? He's love. And filios, like friend. There's one for family. There's a difference, right? They have breakdowns, but filios is like, like a friend love. There's one for family, but they use filios for family too. And then eros is like romantic love between a
Mm-hmm.
man and a woman, you know. So the
Yeah.
different types of love, but obviously we're talking about being in love, eros, That's what we're talking
So about Euros,
about.
right? No,
Yeah,
no, no, it's important to, I guess, make that distinction for everybody, right? Because a lot of people, in the world today, people are confusing when they use the term love on different things. The reason being is that, I mean, in the English term, right? The same word you would tell your daughter, I love you. The same
yeah,
term you use your friend, I love you. We just use the
yeah.
exact same word. But obviously, in different, like I said, in the Greek or like I say Hebrew, they actually use different words. It's not, so when they use the statement in
One
Greek, like,
word,
yeah,
yeah,
it's not, when they say, they don't say agape, you to your husband and your wife and again married or something. You can track them, even
yes,
though they might
yeah, yeah,
use
yeah,
that, but it's also a different word they would use. And it's important to understand that because many times people get confused with these. But in our heart, we know that, right? Because in our heart, when we tell, like, say, Mark telling Eva, he love her, he is not the same way he telling his mother. You can track them, it's a
yes,
different
yeah,
expression. But at the end of the day, we still in the English language use that word, right? So it's important to know that there's an actual difference in the meaning behind, yeah, especially in the Bible when it talks about love on the whole, right? Because God doesn't expect us to like Onika say, have this agape love just off of it, right? Because it's an unconditional love. And by definition, um we as human beings, we strive, like, in well, I guess I should say also fallen human beings before we know Christ and different things like that. We strive either into maybe two categories, right? A self-righteous kind of way, or maybe a sinful way, right? Where we relate to life and things, right? And it's hard to enter into unconditional love if that is how your mindset is, right? Because one of them you'll
yeah,
be fearful, one of them you'll be feeling unworthy. The other one is you're trying to buy love. You're trying to
yeah,
figure out how to be good, how you'll be good enough for love. And you'd realize both of them have some kind of condition you're adding onto it. Whereas God wants us to have an encounter with Him where we'd experience a kind of unconditional love that would change our heart, right? But today, specifically, what we're talking about is, could somebody be in love? I'll put it in quotes, right? Before they get married, right? Or or could a couple be like that? Here's my question. I'll maybe ask them, maybe Ava and Onika, right? Because you're a woman, and I'll then I'll ask Mark, right? Another question, right? But let's go to the women first, right? As women, do you know some women who maybe they not necessarily really love the man and thing, but everything the person could do for them, and that's a good indicator for them why they could marry the person. Like maybe they have money, they have a good house, they have a good job, and it have nothing to do necessarily with they love the person, but immediately in their mind they qualify that this is a good option to be to get married. You know, we say, well, the thoughts on that as young lady, young women.
Ava, you
Well,
go
I
ahead
don't.
now.
Yeah, you get Ava, you
Ava, go
younger.
first.
I definitely think
Okay,
that
now.
I definitely
Good.
think that does exist. I actually know of a young lady. Her husband is actually unfaithful to her, and I think there is some amount of abuse in the relationship and so on. And I think the main reason why she remains in the marriage is because of the things she could get out of the marriage. Because basically, if she goes out of her, like if she divorces him, she will now be on her own, and the person has money coming in and stuff like that. So she doesn't work and stuff like that. So I definitely think that yes, that is a reality, especially in the world today. I think sometimes two people might get married for different reasons, kind of along those lines as well with regards to parents.
Mhm.
This is not a racist thing, but I think you find it a lot of times, and I don't know if this still happens now, but I know really back in the days with Indian, with
Mark
East
just
Indians,
smiling.
they tend to
Have
they tend
arranged.
to choose they tend to choose based on certain things. So you have to
Well,
make sure that the man can provide And most of the times, those are the major things. Like love is probably last on the list or probably not even there at all. And actually, somebody said that in the comments just now, just, but please, there are marriages that are arranged and they marry without knowing each other, but during the marriage, they fall in love. And that's
Mm.
similar to what I'm saying here. People get married literally just because of everything but love sometimes. Sometimes people, they have sex out of marriage and parents might pressure them or just society might pressure them. You're pregnant, you should get married, and you probably sometimes it's just a one night stand. You say, what, I have a child now with this person, I'm gonna get married. And sometimes those things obviously create issues because you have no kind of connection in that way. Because I think a marriage should be based in love.
Yeah.
So yes, I definitely think it does exist, and there's a lot of different reasons people get married outside of just love.
Waiting Nix.
Yeah. I don't think you need to get married. Sorry. I don't think you need to be in love to get married. And
Right.
I also believe a marriage could work. That if you get married, not now, being in love will be a great asset to your marriage, and it will be advantageous for you to marry somebody that you're in love with. But my opinion on that is that you don't necessarily have to be in love with somebody to marry them.
Okay.
I think what Eva was talking about is a lot of times people settle for all kind
Mm.
of different reasons, right? And they compromise, right? And they say,
Yeah.
okay, I do have this, but I gain this, or so it's what they could get out of it. But what I'm talking about necessarily is like, all right, there are people who might be in a relationship and they're dating and they have this, they in love, in the sense of there's this deep romantic connection, there's this deep chemistry, you know, um, they have Google eyes for each other. It's like you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, right? What we talk about in love, and it's like,
Yeah, I see in Mark and
ex-
Eva Google eyes.
uh, uh, let me hush. um, so you get what I'm talking about, right? And like this, they like what's the term I'm looking for? Like a magnet on metal with each other, yeah, and magnets stick to metal, and yeah, So you see them, and when you see them, you automatically think nobody have to assume. You say, "Oh gosh, these people in love, boy." You get where I'm going, right? And they
Yeah.
have that kind of chemistry and that kind of thing, but that does not necessarily mean their marriage would be a good one or that it would last. And I know
Right.
people who get married without that part of it, right? Not saying that there's a difference between, I guess we get there, but um, loving somebody and being in love with the person. Um, I think maybe again, it's not the ideal thing. I'm not saying anybody should. This should be your you should say, well, okay, we need to say so. So this is what I go and do, but it's not the ideal thing. But I think when there isn't a strong attraction for the person, right? Like you spend time with the person, you get attached to them, and you grow to love the person, but it isn't necessarily like a strong attraction for the person. Um, and I mean that comes. No, come now, come now. Hey, they had a big listen. Where the post? Where's Celeste? Celeste showed me a post. I don't know if Mark, I know you usually in on everything that goes
If you
on
can find
social
the post, I
media.
can put it up on the screen, but go ahead.
Right? There was this man, it's the perfect post for tonight. Sally, wait, I can send it to you, Kyle, because she
Yeah, that
screenshot
was
it
to
and
send it
sent
to
it to
me
me.
and I could put it up on the
Yeah,
screen so everybody could see it.
right? It
By the time,
it
guys, share
was
the stream, interact with it. We only have 12, 20 something people. We need 12 people interact with it. Let's do this,
it
guys.
it was a big thing on social media this week. Right? And it was a big thing for discussion, right? Okay,
Mark
sorry.
just saying now quiet and he just listening.
Well, Mark will bring he 2 cents, right? Oh
It's
gosh. Look at here, look at here. This girl
sending me,
good
right?
boy. Yeah, sending you. This girl
Okay.
real good. Hold on. I want to get the whole thing.
Is our picture you're sending, right?
Yes, I'll send you the picture, not the link. I have to screenshot it and all of that, but it's gonna be quick, don't worry.
By the time Mark Justina asks a question, right? Can one be married because one is in love and during the marriage, love goes through the door? Could that happen? She's saying they don't like they get married, they're all in love and thing, but then
That's what
that
I was saying.
so-called
Yeah,
love gone through the
that
door.
can keep you.
Could
Well,
that possibly happen? What do you think?
Yeah, I would say she's onto something there. Um, I think especially in the beginning of the relationship, especially if you
Asanakal.
All right,
Sorry, mom.
good.
Sorry.
yeah, especially if you didn't court for too long, you might see little hints of the issue you may not, but you ain't really would have dealt with certain issues. It wouldn't have like wear you down yet, in a sense. If there's a major issue within somebody as you get married and you go along in the marriage, sometimes you might see a issue, and because it happening over and over, it could begin to maybe bring you to a place where you're frustrated. You might feel like you're trying to give advice or this person not changing, and in that moment, you have to choose to, forgive and be long suffering at times and patient. And, the love that you might have had before in the courting stage where the issue may not have been prevalent could be tested during the marriage. And I would say that is one of the ways in which you could fall out of love by the different challenges that will come up and based on how you responded and even how your spouse responded as well.
Yeah. All right. So maybe there's a post, Unika. I guess we had to zoom in a little bit or something. Tell me if you're not seeing it.
Say again.
There's all you seen the post?
All right. Just now.
Yeah.
Maybe Ava, you can see
Ava, you
the
could
words
make it
best.
out? No,
Yeah, I
just
can
now.
see it.
All right,
Okay.
good.
You can read it?
Let me read it. Yeah. Okay, so just starting from where I'm seeing, right? You're not
Who's
the
it?
most beautiful woman. Neither are you the most intelligent woman. But like I've chosen to never find perfection in anyone else. I put my gaze on you, and with that commitment, we would mold ourselves for ourselves. Our perfection is in our commitment. Stating that you're not the most beautiful or intelligent might sound like it's not a compliment, yeah? But it's a realistic base for real love. Acknowledging that my woman isn't the best, but I'm looking for the best. Acknowledging that my woman, sorry, earlier, I read this for the first time. Acknowledging that my woman isn't the best, but I'm not looking for the best. I was looking for you and I found you. There's no best.
Amen.
There's just someone you choose and see the best in them. This to me is the real love. Not the one that consoles itself in the full reality that their partner is the most good looking, most intelligent, most successful person in the world. That's disingenuous and that doesn't give room for love to thrive. I love you. I am fair. I'm committed to you. I miss you so much, but my love for you is stronger than distance. This is real, people.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait
It's
till
real,
some makeup
people.
post or something.
It's a real thing. It was on Facebook this week, and Phyllis sent it to me because she said it went viral, right? People was making comments and saying, well, if I'm not the best to you, one thing or whatever, I don't tell me or something like that, or like, basically they were saying, like he said, it sounded like a diss, like you're saying, well, he is not the most beautiful and he is not the most intelligent either, but he is my girl, you know. Bring your
I think
ugly stupid, bring your ugly stupid self
Nah,
here.
nah,
Let me
nah, nah,
let me
nah. That's not what the man say at all. That's not what the man. I
Totally, I agree with what he's saying.
the only thing is he
Yeah.
forget to say he is not the most handsome, he is not the
He's
most intelligent, he is
Mark,
not
it's true. Mark, you hit the nail on the head there. He forgot. That's a very important point. She should say, just like you, I am also not the most intelligent or handsome.
this
But thank
post
you
will
for
prove it.
choosing me. Thank you for choosing me.
This post prove I'm not the most intelligent. But I
Well,
guess it's a
it caused us
reality
to,
of his statements, though, because I
yeah,
don't think any woman or man should have a thinking, well, use the most beautiful person in the world. Like, be real now. Come now, man. Just in society, you can see that you are maybe not the most handsome, or maybe as a woman, you're not the most attractive. That's just a reality. But it's one thing how you put it into words to tell somebody, though.
correct. It's
Yeah.
so I think it's the fact that maybe how he said it publicly, it might have, what he's saying is true, right?
He
But
he
maybe
could have
if,
said it, but not label the woman. He could have made statements
right,
with that,
he
but
should
not
have
say
made a
the woman.
statement. Correct.
If I knew it was beautiful, I would not sit it with me at the end. I was just reading
No,
it.
it's Ava, the
It's a
post
public
still up.
posting on.
It's a
Nothing wrong
public
with that.
thing, and it went viral. It's like, I don't know. Remember the I don't know thing this week? Yeah, how it went viral. That a man name attached to that. I'm a
Yeah,
bit offended, but
yeah.
it went
I know, but
viral.
That's our whole, it's sad because that's our whole shame on the woman now. Everybody would just
So
inbox the she comment or she comments
that's
and
his
just
that's his only
lambast the
mistake
woman.
for me. He should not
Yeah.
have directed it to her. He should have just said, I believe that
Mm-hmm.
so, but not direct it towards his woman and say, and he actually saying it now. He watching. He's saying, you are
Imagine
not
him
the
pull out
most,
girl and she
you
hand and
are
watch
not
at
the
her. You are not the most beautiful.
Eva,
You saying
how you
something,
feel
I
man?
if Mark
actually, I actually trying to figure out. So help me, right? How is it shameful?
Where's that?
I'm
no, shameful is not the right word, but okay, Eva, the fact of the matter is there are some women who are deeply insecure when it comes to those things, right? The
okay.
proof of that is that it's how it blew up and the woman came out against the man. You
True.
understand? Yeah.
I I tried to put myself in the situation. I'm wondering if I would feel bad if Mark were to post something like that. But I don't think I would. 'Cause I don't think I'm the most intelligent or the most beautiful woman in the world. So it's like
Yeah.
three actors in it. I don't know.
But,
But
but
yeah, I don't think
And I
any
think
woman
people
think that in
focusing. I think people zooming in on that.
yes, right.
Look
Yeah.
at everything else that is said in it. And I think that is just woman being woman.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
I like that. Well, let's see it.
Yes. Yes.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
insulting about
right.
reading it in its entirety, the person when Celeste sent it to me, I didn't read through the whole thing, right? I just read a
Mm-hmm.
couple lines where he was saying, you're not the most beautiful, and she was telling me that's whatever, right? But reading through, I actually just read through the whole thing to the end. Everything he's saying is true, right?
I
And
would have
I
liked
mean,
to hear where's Celeste. I would like to hear her thoughts on it, but go
yeah,
ahead.
your love for somebody, you would be fooling yourself as a woman if you think your husband's love for you is based on the fact that he thinks you're the most beautiful and most intelligent and most everything. That is erroneous. That cannot be,
Yeah.
so because it's just not the facts of the matter, right? And so why
Unika, Sunday I was making not a similar statement, but to
why you even had to
somebody,
bring it up, boy?
yeah,
Why
why
you even
what?
had to bring it up?
I was just bringing up a statement to see that it have some, I was bringing up
I
a
mean, bring it
statement.
up now.
No, well, it's just a thing, right? It's telling somebody that some people have more options in life because of maybe how they look and how maybe as men and women. And some people try to turn that into offense to the person, basically saying I seen the ugly or some kind of thing like that. And I wasn't
Nobody ever said that. Nobody ever said
yes,
it.
that
Said the
some
person.
people were saying, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's not even go there.
No,
But
but my point I'm trying to say is that actually with the person saying that there are people who may be more attractive, it are more people who maybe, just a
of
different
course,
wordings.
your statement was there are people who have more options
Yeah,
based on how
it's
they
linked to
look.
the same thing. It's linked to the exact same thing.
Right.
That's just
There are
life.
people who have more options based on how they look.
Yeah.
And that just
You're
could
being
have been
distracted. Yeah. Are you
yes,
being distracted?
yes,
Okay, okay, okay.
yes. I apologize.
Yeah. I seen
I
Alberto Mendez
apologize.
join the stream. Okay, 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 okay. Where's the scene, Alberto?
What's yeah.
Yeah, Alberto said the heart is important. Maybe by the time you could read Diane comment.
I right
Ava.
now. Okay, I can do that now.
Yeah, just read Diane comment by the time it's a long one. Everybody else just like
Taking
reacting to
pictures of it in case it gets lost.
yeah, you could go ahead and read it.
All right. Okay. So good night to you, Diane. Welcome back to the Real Talk Show. Diane says the emotional love. I could go ahead, right? Yeah, because I was seeing your mouse move here. The emotional love one can feel, but true love grows deeper from respect and protection of each other. I think we discussed this a couple months ago, but it's also one's view of what marriage is. Is it just so for a time and season, or is it a lifetime commitment to one another? I I told you before I am unequally yoked for almost 60 years. He is faithful and true to me, but is far away from faith in Jesus. I was not a Christian at the time of my marriage, but I still believe it is God who put us together. So at the time, it is what the warm and romantic. So at the time, it was the warm and romantic love. Still realizing commitment to each other under the setting of my Catholic Church of reason. Yes, there should be love, not a business agreement.
Okay, okay, okay. Maybe when you can go back and say your sin before you were so easily distracted. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
What I was saying.
He was explaining like with the pointer with the guy about how what he was saying
All
had
right.
truth in it and
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's true. It's just maybe the world we live in now, you know how it goes. You know, people touchy, they get offended quickly. Yeah, it's a different time we live in, and so people probably, you know, I guess the woman thinking to themselves, "Gosh, how would I feel if my husband or my boyfriend put this up? How
right.
they would feel?" You know, directed to them. You're not the most beautiful. You're not the most. So you know, they took it personally, but what he was saying was the truth. That love can't be based on that. You know, unless you're looking for some fairy tale lie for some man to come and lie and tell you. That's what women want, you know. That's what women want. Some man to come, Mr. Charming, and talk all kind of sweet talk and tell them they're the best, the most beautiful, and the most right. That's what they want. But those kind of guys, you know, could be, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so maybe hold on, when I'm this no when she's the most beautiful what
Hear what Kyle, hear what probably the lady, excuse me.
my
Did he say
fiance
that?
sent me something here. I don't know what you know. But you go ahead by the time I think it's something linked to
Oh,
wherever.
to that.
You go ahead.
Okay, I want to see if he did say you are. Hold on, there's no best. There's just someone you choose to see the best of them. This to me is real love, not the one that consoles itself in the, is it Fox? How you pronounce that? Reality of their partners, the most good looking, most intelligent, most successful person. That's delusion and does not give room for true love. But my love, you are strong. I'm trying to see if he said, you are, to me, the most beautiful. Like, you know, to me, there's no best. But no, but he doesn't say it anywhere. So what I was going to say is maybe, you know, because he loved her so much, because he loved her so much, you know, he only have eyes for her, you know. She's most
My in-house researcher sent me something. Let me just pull it up for you to
based on
read.
the same thing.
I think it's
The
the
same,
exact same person who something. Hold on.
right, okay.
Let me just send him an in-house researcher, Mark. You know, we have a research team, and I'm sure share with you all my research team. Hold on 1 second. We have our in-house research team. Yeah, look, you can read this one. It's up on your screen. No, not up yet. Let me read this one, guys. Check this one out.
Same
Is that
person.
is the same person? I think the Beat Oven reposts their tweet from him. There's the same person, right, Solomon?
I'll tell you.
What's your man name now?
Just now I'll tell you.
I think it's the same
Solomon
person.
have a lot of
Yes,
wisdom
same
in his
person. Same
It's the same
person,
person.
Solomon.
All right,
Yeah.
good. So you want to read it?
You want me to
Okay,
read
but
it?
go ahead.
Yeah.
Read it, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah. Go ahead. I think she highlighted to this was thing on December 2020, but go ahead.
When I'm dating a woman, she's the most beautiful woman to me. People
okay.
say there are more beautiful women, but no woman can be beautiful like she is to me. Getting to know her on an intimate level and sharing our lives is something that is much more than just beauty. Secondly, why should I say that there are more beautiful women than her? Or what need is it? Emotional intelligence is important in seeing certain things. And sometimes it's not just everything you see. But he's
So
not the same person who now
that's my
says,
point. So I guess his statement contradicted exactly what he said before later on in life. Because basically he said that he should be a little more emotionally intelligent
he
than telling
changed his
somebody
mind.
that.
Wait,
And
I
Mark,
think you have to know the person that you're with.
yeah, of course, because if it is with somebody who do maybe even have that conversation or you tell them that they might feel or how, but at the same time, people don't understand it's one thing to tell somebody that statement, but the next thing is when society come and break it down and try to pass spotlight on the woman for all kind of different, you know, it could be bad. But you wanted to say something, Mark? I know you're real zooming and had a serious thought there.
oh no, I was just watching what the post and everything like that. I think it did have a lot of truth in what he was saying, but
Mm-hmm.
at least for me, it felt a little weird the way it came across. Like if he just highlighted the shortcomings of his girlfriend or fiance or his significant other, but I didn't really get this sense like of anything at all about him. Like
Well,
if he have any shortcomings or anything at all.
I guess that's I said that is why we all had to not be quick to like judge because there's a post. It's not the man that make.
Correct.
It's not like you know the whole statement. You know, it's like you put out a statement about something and you know you interpreting everything, but it's just something he has seen. You catch where I'm coming from, right? I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
saying
Yeah.
yeah,
some that you saying something right or wrong, Mark, or anybody
yeah,
listening. It's just sometimes that a lot of people, you know, you put out a post about something and you
yeah,
see the other side of the story, and it's not that he don't feel that part of the story. It's just I just seen something here. You catch where I'm coming from now. So
yeah.
sometimes there's some people who maybe do things a little more professional. I guess that's the case, and they explain both sides or whatever the case may be. But I don't think, at least it don't come across to me that he trying to say the person ugly. That's something different. It's not like he come across and he say, "Watch McGill is the most ugly and stupid person I ever met in my life." You know what I mean? I don't think that's what his intention is. But at the same time, I can understand the other side, like you saying, Mark, that somebody hearing that, you know. I see a brother of mine's Alberto on Mendez say, "I will tell my woman she's the most beautiful woman, beautiful because because she will be the most beautiful." Papa, well, boy, I had to see that woman, boy, Berto, boy.
I can't
When you
wait. I
meet she,
can't
I
wait.
I'm
can't
just
wait to
saying
see
that
her.
from today because you know I go to that police state. You
Oh,
guys can little
no, I
I
now
can't
catch it.
wait.
being the most beautiful man. I'm gonna pull you square. I'm gonna pull you square.
No,
I
I
go
catch
call
what you're saying.
I'll call Solomon for you. Go ahead.
Yes, I like this. What I seen here tonight.
But what he's saying is that there is a woman out there who is the most beautiful, and that is gonna be the one that he will be marrying.
Ah,
Congratulations, Alberto.
Oh
oh God.
gosh.
But anyway, we gone far. That post came to my mind,
Mhm.
right? Because but he actually, based on what he said there, what he's saying is that he feels that love for her and that passion, and he is in love with her, even though she is not the. You understand? So, but I was saying that sometimes it may not be there because that kind of romantic attraction isn't, but it would be a disadvantage. So I believe that it should. That's what I was saying. But this man taking it to, he making another point. Basically, he's saying, I am romantically in love with this woman. I love her deeply, whatever. She's my soulmate, whatever. Even though she's not Miss America, right? So I guess for some woman, it could sound as though he's saying he's settling. You understand?
I,
That's what
I
he
I would
hullabaloo
never
was
make that
about.
statement though. That's just me
What
personally.
what
I
he
never make
did,
a
you mean?
statement, yeah, because at the end
Yeah,
of the day, the person
yeah,
you're with, you have a high level of attraction to them. At least to
right.
me personally, I picture Nikki. You know that I would never in my mindset try. I mean, if it's people talking casual things and they could honestly say "Hey, this person, but to make a statement like this is how you feel about somebody, that's a weird statement to make, like Mark saying, you know, that you had to look at yourself too, and if you're making a statement like that, you catch where I'm coming from. Now, I guess it's how you phrase it too, how you phrase it in wording is important, you know, because at the end of the day, I guess next thing I don't know people is what is the context he's sharing that post on. If it is because somebody say something like you watch a video or something, and he
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
put a statement out there of what it is the
yeah,
other
yeah,
person saying or meaning. You catch where I'm coming from now. But anyhow,
yes,
back to the big picture. The
yeah.
main thing we were really talking about, Mark and Eva, is about if it is somebody to be in love to get married. And I think we get the woman side. And I want to ask maybe Mark his opinion, right? Do you think that a lot of men as well get married and they're not really necessarily in love with the woman? Like, do you think that some men, I'll give you an example, right? Do you think some men marry because they're ready to settle down with a family and this and that and thing? Or it's just they find the woman nice, she attractive, and boy, let me lock she down, like a good children, nice children with she, you know, do you think that some people make decisions as simple as like that asking?
Yeah, I think men marry for a few different reasons. Generally, as a man, you would tend to be drawn to an attractive woman, especially if you have a particular type and she is of your type. You will be very, how to say, you'll be very forgiving. You'll be very flexible. You'll be very patient. You know, you'll be willing to tolerate. You'll have a high tolerance at times. Sometimes if somebody is very attractive to you, but I have met people who would have went through different issues and the attractiveness to them, or like that infatuation, they would realize that is one aspect of a relationship, but then there's life when there's, having to live with this person and deal with coming home every day, and they either greeting you to a peaceful home, or it's quarrel or nagging, which is a major issue for men. Um, so sometimes I see men say they rather be with somebody who is not as in demand, as you were saying earlier, Kyle.
Mhm.
They rather be with somebody a little more low key, or somebody more simple. Um, so sometimes men would rather be with somebody who could be a good wife, somebody who would support them, somebody who could cook and take care of the home. So
Right.
I think as a man, you don't always necessarily marry for love, like you're in love, but you might look at somebody who could be a good wife to you. And I think some older men, when you get a little older, you tend to more value a wife, somebody who could actually take care of you and help you with your different challenges, and help you organize the house, or organize bills, or
Mm-hmm.
organize your business and your affairs and different things. When you're a little older, you might tend to look for different things, especially than if you're a younger man.
You know,
Yeah.
I actually heard a popular preacher, Onika. I don't think he are alive now. I don't want to call his. I mean, I could call his name, right? But I don't know if it's particularly him, right? But he's actually preaching on plenty relationships. Maybe when I make this statement, you might know, or maybe Mark might hear him, right? I sure my fiance listening, she would know who's the person, and she would message me if it's actually him, right? But he basically said men, if you look throughout the Bible, they don't look for love in our marriage. What they look for is honor and respect. Like when they revert to like everything else, like with a woman that a man should, thing. That like when like he would use verses like when men love your wife, and they use the word to submit to he would say that that as a woman submit to your husband, because what he was saying is not that men don't look for love. Right? He said that when he's saying to a lot of men, that is what love is to them. When you respect them and when you do like how certain things mean maybe different for a woman when it comes to love. He was saying for men in generally, men interpret love when it is you respect them and honor them. Like if it is you go out and you disrespect a man would interpret that as not you don't love him. That's what basically he was saying, right? So he
Which
was
man in the
saying,
Bible, though? Which man in the
yeah.
Bible
He
married
was no,
just
he
for
was
that?
saying
Because
no, what he was saying is that when no, he wasn't talking about the examples like that, right? What he was talking about
no.
is like what men look for in the context of when the Bible like give definitions of. I don't agree
Mm.
with him, eh? I was just saying that what he was saying, and a lot of people do agree with him because it's actually a popular preaching that
Miles Monroe.
yeah, it's actually Masmero. A lot of people know that preaching is actually a popular sermon that he did, and I guess a lot of people agree with it. That he was saying that men generally don't look for, or they I should maybe put it in a correct phrasing that they interpret love through respect and honor. That
Mm.
whereas a woman marries to interpret love for different things, he's saying a man that's how mainly they interpret love for, that kind of way. No, we're not talking about like we know we have different things where David just watch a woman, whoa, find she's beautiful and ready to marry her. Because at the end of the day, like Mark was saying, that a man look at a woman, and I think that could be linked more to a little eros, a little eros that is more that kind of
Yeah.
love, a little eros, that kind of passion when you see somebody, that you have that kind of, and that could be linked to that, and you realize throughout the Bible, that's how a lot of men choose wives, but also too, that's not how a lot of men choose wives. I think I mean, later on in the show, I mean, I guess we could start off a little bit with that, right? One of the first things, like somebody talk about arranged marriages. Arranged marriages is not just so simple. What I mean by that is this, right? In the Bible, God was clear with something that when he told Abraham, remember he to go and choose a wife for his son, of the same tribe. It means that they have certain values in common. Nobody, when they are doing arranged marriage, the actual, even though the mother and father may be choosing the son or the daughter, they actually look for values in the family. So they would know if the
Mm.
son is like a caring person, a loving person. They would never choose. You catch where I'm coming from, right? They would
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
certain things beforehand. Even though the person might be perfect in that kind of way, they know
Mm-hmm.
the person have a certain type of upbringing. They know they have certain cultural things. They know so like in the Bible, they would act, we know the Hebrews and different things had certain beliefs. So they would have certain things of culture that they would go by. But when you read the Bible, Isaac just look up to his wife. He trusts everything else, and he look at the woman and he say, "Boy, let me get married." He went and he married his wife like normal Mark. He just went boom. It's a no courting for no 3-5 years, and we know the whole story came out of that after, right? So it means that there was that the first thing I think it had was a sense of, I know we saying, I think it had a sense of like unconditional.
Purpose.
Yeah, and
Oh.
purpose, unconditional love established from before, where it is because of who the person is and different. It means it had a kind of value that was added before they knew each other. It means through culture, through different things, it had a certain idea of what love should look like through culture, through different things that, because remember, like be real, right? There are practical things through culture that maybe is not examples of love that people go with. You see, in this modern world today, the culture is now that you can have an open relationship. You can have a certain type of relationship, and that is now maybe the new culture coming up. When it comes to the children of God and Israel, they had a certain way of having a relationship, and they knew it had certain reasons and values, and hence the reason they were a little more protected by, I guess, certain the way they would approach women and men, right? They know you can't be doing certain things like this, and that has sense of safety when it came to certain things like that, right? But the point is this, right? I think before anything else, somebody must, even an arranged marriage, somebody must have a sense of what real love is like. You know what I mean? And they must have a sense of how to value somebody, how to treat somebody in a certain way. Even though they really don't know the person that kind of way, like they really know them for real love and romance. And I should invite a brother on the stream here today, because I don't know if that is the case, but he met somebody from a different country that he's from, and he married her. And I would like to know his story, but obviously I forgot, I didn't get a chance to invite him. A brother who comes champion, I would like to know his full story about that, because I don't know how much he knew the lady before he got married, Mark. I don't know. So I could just be saying something, and maybe he knew her a lot. They used to talk right through on the phone, and they fell in love, and I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know the fullness of the story. But you know what I mean? But Onika, on that note, what do you think? That's you're seeing how you're laughing. Do you think that I just would like to hear input when it comes to the respect? That when it says men, look for respect and honor.
Yes, men love respect and honor, and it is a big part of their attraction to a woman. But man, if we were to be real, I don't know anybody who would necessarily choose based on that. Like, it's they see a girl, they like a girl, they get to know the girl, and all those things come. But I don't know if that just used to happen in the Bible days, but you know what I mean? I don't see it happening. So I see men just choosing based on, you know what I mean? So maybe that was the Bible days, right?
Yeah.
So I hear you with, what Miles Monroe preach and stuff, and it is a big thing for men. But I think it's not something that a man, okay, so they might meet somebody, end up getting attached to them like the person, and they might not be all high up in that category, right? Respect and honor. But they're willing to make a little compromise because they're attracted to the person. They fall in love with the person. Right?
Of course.
So the respect and honor no longer high up there on the list. They try to work that out after and try to get the woman to become respectful and to honor them because they want the person, because they're attracted.
That's a rare thing, though. A person who maybe trying to really do that, that's a rare thing.
To do what?
For men. It's like a rare thing if a woman real disrespectful to a man, like in that kind of way.
No, but I didn't say that the woman is being real disrespectful. I'm saying it's not it's not a high part of her, it's not the thing that attracted him, let's be real. It's not the thing. He didn't watch her and say, wow, she's gonna be so respectful and she's gonna honor me. Wow, I'm in love. Who does that? You know what I mean?
Look at sister of us. Maybe I don't know if she's in agreement or not with me what I'm saying, but she make up a good point. She say, nah. People in the Bible choose love. Women, I should say, men choose women based in the Bible of our beauty. Jacob wanted Rachel, even though she was the older one and appropriate. The choice was Leah. That that he just chose her based upon how she looked. Mark, he didn't care about nothing else. But my point is,
Sarah was really beautiful too. Sarah was really, really beautiful.
Yeah,
she was
sure right.
Yeah. So it had a little more than honor going on.
No, well, I was just talking about what he's saying as, and I don't think he was actually even talking about the old. I think he was talking about not examples of people, but he was actually using the Bible like definitions of marriage, and he was saying that no way you could find that a man should look for, like he would never say like how a man, like in the Bible say women. Some men love your wife like Christ loved the church. He was saying that in the Bible, at least in the New Covenant, he was saying that you would never see that the Bible commanding women to love the man.
Right.
Like because that is not basically what he's saying that basically that is not necessarily what interpreted as a man looking for. He's saying that respect and honor. When you do that, a man feels love, and I guess that's a whole different world to get into. I don't like I tell you what I don't agree with that. I just tell it. The reason why I bring that up is because that is actually a lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of Christians struggle with that when it comes to love. Like if it is a woman, there's actually thump the woman with the Bible. Because it's
Right. Yeah.
disrespectful, and they thump the woman and say this is
You
how
have
it's
to
supposed
submit.
to be.
Yeah.
You had to
Yeah.
submit, you had to do this, and that for them, when they do that, they feel now the woman love them and like them. You know, which is not.
But I have a question, right? Like with Adam and Eve, like when God introduced Adam to Eve, he didn't never really know her before to fall in love or anything. He was willing to get married for some reason.
It had no other woman. It had no other woman on the earth.
Well, I don't even think that's so much of our willingness now. I mean, yes, it was our willingness, obviously, 100%. You see, woman, bone on my bone. God, that's the first arranged marriage. You can clearly see in the Bible, right? God bring them together, and it was what it is. You know what I mean? This is my personal belief, right? I could be wrong. I personally believe it didn't have the fall of man, and everybody was. I think a lot of people would just be easily to fall in love. Because a lot of people wouldn't have all the issues, and it would just be more based on not necessarily something carnal, but it would just be based upon maybe attraction or something like that.
But
I don't think
we would have all have been perfect too. There'd have been no sickness, no fault. Everybody would be perfect.
That's my point.
Body,
so your choice would
perfect
just be a
skin,
choice.
all they eating is fruits and vegetables. So the choices would have been easy and abundant.
You're right. That's what my point was saying is, but when it come back to our decision making, there's a lot of things.
If I want to face.
We make because of the fall of man, actually, because of you wonder if this person gonna love you, if they got integrity, if they if they will be committed to. You have a lot of decision making to go along the line with that, right? But I think we didn't have you get
something I was thinking to it a little off topic, even though it's on topic, but if we didn't have the fall of man and you're married, it's not that do us part because you ain't going to really die from you might have been married forever or something.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something just came to my mind.
Well, when you think about mess ups in our marriage and life, Adam and Eve had to live with a long mess up for a lot of their life, because they live for years, They didn't live for 200, they live for plenty years in their life. And they maybe had to see their children die, Abel and Cain, the decision. I mean, they lived through a lot of Mark that they went through at that time in life. That there's a lot happened. Obviously, they experienced God's love, they understood the mistake that happened, and and a lot of people say when they go to heaven, they can't wait to see Adam and Eve to deal with them. I know I heard a brother of mine once said that.
I heard a couple of people talking about that as well. All in rum shop and think people would love to meet Adam and Eve.
Anyhow, yeah, but that's one aspect, right? That a lot of people so there's a lot of comments. Maybe if you could do your first giveaway and read some of the comments, because a lot of people commenting. Alberto making a lot of statements in the chat. You can read a lot of people's comments. Forget Alberto. You can read a lot of people's comments right now.
Yeah.
Our national bird has nothing to do with KFC, okay?
You could actually get charged for that, brother, but go ahead. You can't cook the national bird.
But there are a problem with people.
What he's saying is KFC making a woman fatty deep. I know him, he said KFC making a woman. What he's trying to say, the national bird messing people up, because plenty women eating KFC and they getting obese. That messing things up. Ask him if that's not what you mean.
If you had to explain as if that
that is what he mean. Yeah. I can bet my last cent. Go ahead, Ava.
Well, that's I mean, she's saying I think saying that
Adam
have a choice. But you good.
He said yes, Onika is right. You see, I just telling you before you go. Yes, Onika is right. I know.
Well, let him defend him oneself for that statement. So basically, he's saying when women get a little overweight, they cause problems. But you go ahead, Berto. You defend yourself for that. I had nothing to say on that note. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't read anything we read in the already, but I'll try not to. So, Sonny, Tony, good night to you. Fall in love with and marry the person for who they are, not for their possession and finances. Justina Baptiste, long suffering, command the fruits of the spirit. Let me see. How do you know when it's time to move? We have a question here. I guess you can probably make most of it. Tanal Augustine. Good night to you, Tanal. I'm not sure if I saw you here before, so if this is your first time viewing and commenting with us. I want to say a special welcome and good night to you. Welcome to the Real Talk Show. Tanal is asking, how do you know when it's time to move out from a toxic marriage? So you can make notes of that, Sonny Tony. You know how long I write a love letter. We are great to love. Well, Sonny Tony, I get thing that is certain and love sex.
Hmm.
Siobhan Lafleur, I like that he's been right. So we gone back here to the guy with the post. What was his name? I don't remember his name. But Siobhan says I like that he's being real and honest to her. Um, Mickey Chapman, his statements, his facts. Justina, beauties in the eyes of the beholder, and old phrase. Chrissy Meal says the man talking the truth. Sunny Tony, I look at it as the man being real. Sometimes being honest isn't always about saying to the person what they want to hear. Good night to you, Cynthia Seeley. Um, Nikki Chapman says next thing she loves what he said. It's true, who
Hmm.
knows? Um, a good to Monday says the heart is important. AJ Allen says truth hurts, but it works. Simple. Sunny Tony, the man being real and I give him props, even as a married man or woman, you would see someone more beautiful or handsome than your spouse. Justina says some people doesn't look something else attracts them, such as education, shapes, hobbies, etc. Kwasi, good night to you, Kwasi. Kwasi says we mistaken lust for love and enter into relationship ready for marriage, thinking it's love all because we think we know, but not seeking guidance, advice, prayer, not realizing the innermost heart to heart with someone, but rather look on the outside and mindset of person, scanning this or that about a person. But hey, God chose the foolish. If God can choose the foolish, a person can see a person's heart and not their beauty. Chrissy means say people too sensitive. Chrissy mean will say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chrissy mean, yeah, you will say something. Sorry, Tony, if their man or husband, but I will be here. Sorry, oh, yes, sorry, Tony
Not
says,
so, not Sonny. Mark not
possess
side and Sonny.
I will be your
Yeah.
shoulder to cry on.
Eh,
Sorry,
eh.
Tony, you can't be no wife, somebody else wife shoulder to cry on, right? Right, Tony, Tony. Find your wife and be your wife shoulder for whatever. Just you know, but please, just you know, but she said, God, man, we're here tonight. Alberto Mendez. Well, we read this about Alberto. Yes, Alberto. Okay, great. You living in a fairy tale. Frankly, the person point sometimes we just missed it. Lovely rules. So he contradicted himself. Yes, I think we established that. Or he probably just changed his mind as life went on. Tiana Kwame, good night to you. He highlights all the flaws in her. What about his flaws? It's giving narcissism. It's giving breakdown her self-esteem to make her settle. It's giving insecurities in him. Well internalized, yeah, I like that. Marissa. Good night to you, Marissa. She says it sounds like you're talking about grace in a relationship. I think AJ Allen made this one when Mark was listing different things that a man might look for. He said, a good mother to your children. He also said women of the Bible and women of the 21st century is totally different women. Um, Alberto, we're having fun tonight. Diane says the man is commanded to love his wife as Christ loves his church, and then when that wife knows her husband love and being cherished, it is more easy for her to honor, obey, respect the leadership of her husband. Tiana Kwame. Tiana Kwame says, a lot of men in the Bible chose the woman based on the beauty. Jacob wanted Rachel, though she was not the older, more appropriate choice like Leah was. He fell in love on sight. Marlon being fast. Marlon wants to know who Kyle talking about. Marcia Price, good night
Marlon
to
is
you.
not you, don't worry.
Good night to you, Mashika. Even though you're a little late, that's quite okay. We still have a little way to go. And guys, for anybody who now joining in, just letting you all know, once you comment, you can qualify to win a prize. And tonight we have a really special prize. We are doing tickets to our last flight drama production. All right. So once you comment tonight, you can qualify to win one of two of those giveaways. All right. So keep your comments coming in so you can win. All right. Justina Batista, she was part of her, so no, Justina says she was part of Adam, so they bond, sorry, immediately. Even after then they remain together. Afia Francis, good night to you, Afia. I'm not sure if this is your first time viewing, but a special welcome to you. I don't think I've ever seen your name here before. AJ Allen, Adam did not have a choice, but choose for him. Yes, Afia says she is a first time viewer. Afia, we want to say a special welcome to you from the entire Real Talk family. Okay, thank you so much for being here and commenting. Diane, yes, the Bible does say that about beauty attracting, but as the saying goes, beauty goes skin deep. Is she going to be the Proverbs 31 woman? So, as I said before, it is more natural that when a woman falling, if I never feel love, when a woman feels love and respect from her husband, it does flow more naturally than she will honor she will honor and obey her husband's leadership. Most women hate the sound of obeying love. Justina Batiste, welcome, have fun. AJ says she was created to meet all of Adam's specific needs that love different. Lovely Rose. That's a great giveaway. Yes, it is. Lovely Rose, it is a great giveaway. Kelly Nyla, good night to you and welcome to the Real Talk Show. I feel like I see quite a few new names here. Kelly Nyla, let me know if you're viewing for the first time, all right? All right, it's time for the first giveaway. Who are we doing this to? Who are we doing the giveaway to?
I could give a suggestion.
Was that okay?
I would give a suggestion. Rather pick it. I would give a suggestion as Sonny Tooney.
Well, my house is Sunny Tony, so I guess Sunny Tony it is. Sunny, congratulations to you. You are the winner of our first giveaway tonight. And again, it's a ticket to the last flight. It's probably one of the best genre productions you ever going to see in your life. Yes, I'm saying what I'm saying.
And she went Broadway, so she would know.
Yes,
She went and back. How come you didn't go back? How
How come
come,
he
what
didn't go,
she's
man?
talking about.
how come you didn't go
How
Broadway?
come he wasn't there, man?
But anyway,
It's never Princess Lydia Astray, I know bring you back, you know.
Afia asking a question. Oh, she said, how can I enter?
Just comment.
Let's
okay,
interact. We have one more giveaway.
once you comment, you qualify to win a free. Just confirm in Trinidad as well, right? Because obviously the play is happening in Trinidad at Central Bank, 6 p.m. on the 21st of August. All right, guys. So anybody else who's interested, please feel free, guys, to reach out to us if you want to purchase tickets as well. All right. Kyle, we went back to you.
Hey, congrats, Sonny. In Boxway, you'll get the ticket. Unica will link up like maybe how you could get the ticket or any kind of thing like that. She is the producer of the play, you know. She's the boss lady behind everything right now, right? So she would link up with you, and we look forward to seeing it, Sonny. You could come and enjoy it. You would really enjoy the play. It would be a real good blessing. And it's Mark. Mark is a big star. Look, watching this, so you go feel comfortable when you come. You feel like a familiar face you're watching, you know. So don't worry yourself. You go enjoy it, and you bring somebody with you. But anyhow, remember, guys, we have our next ticket to give away. Trust me, guys, is a great play. It's a great excitement. I know, you know, I know personally me. If it is like, you know, yeah, maybe it was a little more. I know a lot of people pay this, right? I know a lot of people also looking for activities, seeing that you know, things open back up a little more in Trinidad.
Yeah.
You know, people want something else to do. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to, you know, they enjoy, you know, yes, Ayana. I'm acting as well in it, but you know, yeah, Mark is the superstar. So I just
Me,
you know.
I just like everybody else.
They're both phenomenal. Ayana, both of them.
But anyhow, back to the topic. You know, we reached our point, I guess, where we want to make some, I guess, some statements of like we were saying, Onika, like when it comes to a practice. So what do you think like maybe a practical marriage need to have to function? I think personally this, right? Because you would read this in the Bible, right? That you'd see that God telling women to not focus on the outward beauty, to to adorn yourself with love, with kindness, different gentleness, and these are the traits that the women of the old had, right? But it never said the woman of the old didn't have beauty, like Sarah was.
Mm,
It's clear the Bible. I think it's clear on this, right? Every facet of your life or aspect of your life actually comes from God. It means that your outward, your inner, and the most inner part of you. It means who you are as a person, then your soul, how you interact with life, different things like that, and then also your outward. Every aspect comes from God. But the reason why the Bible wants us not to so much to focus on the outward, it's not that God don't see it is important, Is that actually your outward is going to change. Your inward is not. If you understand where I'm coming from, right? Who you are is where you're going to carry into eternity. If it is you're loving, you're kind, those are the things that actually you're going to carry. Obviously, you'll be changed to a point where you'll have a better revelation of God's love. But
right.
my point is this, right? You would actually have a new body in heaven. So God and is actually going to be a beautiful thing. When you think about Jesus, he's the most beautiful being you could ever encounter or see. So God actually designed the man to be attracted to the woman beauty. Think about this, right, fellas? Everybody should think about this. Think about this, right? The Bible said that the angels, the fallen angels, looked down from heaven and they looked at the women as something beautiful to come and be with them. So it means women portray a kind of beauty when it comes to God. Because remember, when God say God created man in his image and his likeness, there's something about the woman that is beautiful, that's created in God. It means that how God blessed us and he designed us. That is something. Remember, we reflect God, right? And we have different aspects of God. Like, so that's why you would see in the Bible, God relates to himself like a man or a female or a woman, or he used different type of language because put together, we are all, that's who God is. He's a compassionate person. So, sometimes people say women are very more tender and caring, and man are the more dominant, the more leader one and different. But in God, he's actually all of those things. He's the person who would say this as a woman. Even though a woman forgets her nursing child by her bosom, I wouldn't forget you. And yeah, he's talking like almost like a woman. You catch where I'm coming from? Like you would think that he talking from this sense of a feminine way where he talk, and you'd realize all those things. So I know me, Kerwin and all of us was having a conversation actually recently about this, that because somebody was asking that question about God, right? And you realize God actually doesn't define himself like a man. You catch where I'm coming from? Like as a man or a woman. He's a spirit. That's who he is. But in creating us, we design in all of us, we have different designs, we have different things we contribute. It's clear men and women are different in how we look and how we present ourselves. There's two different ways, just from a simple thing, the Adam's apple, everything that we design, something is designed different about us. And there's a beauty that exists on a woman that is throughout the Bible you would see as a tormenting thing. I mean, not a tormenting thing. Men choose a lot of decisions just based upon their beauty.
The man said tormented, yes.
What
You
I mean
being
is,
tormented, guy?
no. What I'm talking about is a lot of men choose. I choose the wrong words. Sorry, Solomon.
Yeah, I think
A lot
so.
of men choose a lot of things, and it's just based upon the beauty. And we saw the consequences that happen in their life, or even when men get tempted. A lot of men fall in the Bible just based upon woman looks. And how they look and they get wiped out. You catch where I'm coming from, right? Well, not wiped out as in destroyed, but they fall. But my point is this, right? There's something God, I think this, right? You correct me if I'm right or wrong, or your opinion on this, right, Onika? I do not think God does not want nobody not to be attracted to their spouse. I don't think that's in design of how it is he wants us. I'm not here to tell you what is attractive or not to you, right? But God definitely wants you to be attracted to your spouse. He does not want you to live a life where you sit down and watching somebody and you're a good one, boy. You watch that scene, watch that channel and say, kill, you're a good woman. And there's no attraction. You can track her. When you sit down late in the night in the bed and you look at you and say, wow, that false hair, that fake eyelashes. When you take up that makeup, wow, you're a good woman.
Kyle, there are many beautiful women who wear
Oh
wigs,
gosh.
eyelashes, nails, and the whole work, and makeup.
That's a whole different show, fellas. That's a whole different show. When men get the trap, the beauty trap, when they do everything, they do so. It's
I know
a-
somebody took a trip to have some eyelashes done recently, but let's not go there.
I know that a lot of people do those things, but I didn't say something wrong. What I'm trying to say is a lot of people, Anyhow,
But
anyhow,
Those
you get
are
Mark.
those are enhancements, Kyle.
Yeah, you
I
sure
think
right.
yes, that's what it's called.
Men had to do different type of enhancements. You get Mark.
I was
Yeah,
just going to say that it's
show it
real
off.
serious. Man and angel and thing fighting up with lust behind women.
Yeah, because the angels said the
They
the
actually,
woman
but
was
actually use
too
the word fair
beautiful.
and beautiful. Yeah, they actually use that.
Correct.
They actually watch them as something.
Yeah.
Just amazed by that,
Yeah,
Mark.
good. Yeah, imagine angel and thing jealous of man, yes?
Yeah. Anyhow, yes. So, what do you say? So, to get the first point out there, right? Do you think that maybe I'd like to hear Eva and Mark, because I think you agree, right? Do you think that the person who God wanted to be with, or the person you're gonna choose, it should be at least a little attracted to them? What do you think?
What do you think?
What's the question?
If the person that you will marry, or you say the person who God wanted to be with, if you should be
But that is
attracted to
the
them.
person you're gonna marry. Forget that it's God wanted to be them, right? We all understand that that's part of it, right? But at the end of the day, you actually have a choice to make. So hence the reason I want to leave God out of it. So with the context of at the end of the day, it's you making a decision.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, because it's important. Yeah, go ahead.
Type of love that you would have for that person, express and engage.
What? What? What's he saying?
She
Because
said the type of love you would have with the person, the type of love you would engage with the person.
Oh, okay. You need attraction for that. I get you.
you would have to be attracted to the person at least to some extent. I can't see somebody being married. I mean, you're correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't see somebody being married to somebody and they have no type of attraction. I think that could actually turn you off from the person. Even if you're with somebody and you're probably like, wait, this person have a real nice personality and like you're getting that type of chemistry
That's
and
friendship.
attraction
That's
from
like you're
them.
looking to marry a friend. You
Yeah.
know.
And then one day when she puts on your weight, you're like, wait, I'm not attracted to you physically. So I think that's a scene because I think that can cause issues with you in your marriage, especially when it comes to a very important part of marriage. So yeah, yeah.
I, I would say it's a part. You was going to say something?
No, I listened to all it. A brother of mine he asked a question. Maybe you could
Nah,
Uh,
answer him. Maybe you could answer him one time, Mark. You see, this is along the same thing, right? You say, can you marry someone you not ravishing for, or just a cool friendship?
well, I would say when it comes to marriage, the attraction is a part of it. Um, it is a it is a I would say it's an important part. It's not the, it had different aspects to marriage, different aspects to love and thing, but it is needed. And also, I think if you're not attracted to your wife or your husband, and they're attracted to you, and they might be, you know, probably trying to get close to you or something, you could maybe give off a sense of rejection to the person, or they might get a sense that you're not really interested in them in that type of way, and it could cause little issues where they may be feeling rejected, and you could have little different little issues I believe could come up if the attraction is not there. I think is a part of is a just how that works is part of marriage, like it's
It's
part of
part of it's part of eros.
And I want to say
The,
that
yes.
that's actually
yeah,
different. That is part of the definition of that part of
of,
marriage is
of
like
love. Because remember, as Kyle rightfully explained in the earlies, we use love in a broad way, right? As you tell your mother you love them, you tell your husband you love them, your sister, right? But for husband and wife, I mean, you should have agape too. But that eros is a romantic love which involves attraction. And
Yeah.
so God, as Kyle said, also God not expecting you to marry somebody you're not attracted to, or it's
Yeah,
not
you know,
like He wants.
like some people will look at Adam, like people might say that's a force. No, God, when Adam look at it, trust me, that heroes day, because I would clearly say, "Bone flesh and my flesh," but he didn't say it in a in like a whoa, flesh and my flesh. You don't read the Bible, you don't read it like that. You just read it with passion. Nobody could read any Bible and not interpret it as, whoa, there's some kind of passionate statement here. It's
Yeah,
clearly that when God designed her, there was that ravishing look, Alberto
he was
Mendez.
attracted. Yeah,
Yeah, he wanted to ravish her. That's how he felt. There was this romantic. A matter of fact, you read the book, that's God actually want us to have a ravishing love towards him. That kind of romantic kind of.
amen.
That's where you read the book of
That's what
Solomon.
God
That's what it's
said.
all about,
Correct.
right? And it's a
Yeah.
reference to us and him. So God feels that way towards us, and He wants us to feel that actual way towards Him. You know what I mean? You wanted to say something,
I
man?
would say, getting married and that aspect, I think it took some getting accustomed to, because it's not something that Eros part is not something I would really dwell on before I was married. It's something I would actually try to avoid, or like see as, okay, this is like sin now. Obviously, fornication and thing is sin, right? And lusting and things. So from going to really trying to avoid these things to being at a position now where, okay, I could, indulge. It was like a kind of mind shift for me, like feeling like I'm doing something I shouldn't really be doing and kind of thing. It just took me a little while to kind
I
of
feel I
just
feel
kind
you
of
is one in a million, Mark. I feel you is one
serious.
in a
I don't think I would have such problems, Mark. I just see it, it's not a bad thing, and I just tell you, I mean, because
Yeah,
I mean, even God don't expect us. I mean, I guess for you personally, you set up certain boundaries and walls, even in your relationship with certain things, right? Because of whatever procedures you didn't want to happen, but I think even it's clear that even in the Bible tells us when it's two virgins start to treat each other a different way. That different way is eros. Instead of watching them romantically and go and get married, you haven't sinned. So I don't think having those things when you're with somebody is actually something
it's
ungodly or bad.
natural.
It's natural.
Yeah,
God is actually a natural thing. That's why the
yeah.
Bible says this, right? Can a man play with put fire in his bosom and not get burned? It's actually a natural thing. If you take fire and you put it in your bosom, you're gonna get burned. In the same way, it's the same way if it is you naturally embrace a woman and put her into your bosom, you hug her up a certain way, you could start to get romantic. You can start to get that kind of not romantic, but you can start to get eros. You start to feel certain passions and certain things coming. Like there's a whole different show here, right?
yeah.
But my
Understood.
point is this. My point is this, right? That not based on love though. Because a man could, like some people, like he was asking with attract. Sorry to say this, right? There's a whole industry of men sleeping with prostitutes, different things like that, even in Trinidad. And many of those men do not find the woman attractive. It's a pleasure they're going for. That's all they, what I mean? They're not looking for attraction and love. And a matter of fact, many of them have a family and they have a wife. There's a sick
Mm.
perversion of lust they're trying to get fulfilled outside of the self. And my point is this, right? Like go back to the big picture. Firstly, I think God wants us to be attracted to the person that we are with. He does not want us to not be with somebody and they're not attractive. So seeing that, Onika, what would you say is maybe the top three things as the most important thing in somebody choosing a spouse? Seeing that we're saying this all the time, do people always choose things based upon love? Because in the beginning, do you know many times in the beginning of marriage, you could be with somebody 4 or 5 years and you don't really fully understand the requirement it takes of love for you for the person, because
Mm-hmm.
you might be seeing a facade for 5 years of the person, and then when you get into the situation, you realize the requirements it takes to love that person. What would you think of some of the things that somebody maybe really needs to see within themselves that they need to see if they have the capability of loving somebody in a marriage?
I would say commitment is one. I think that's important because you don't always feel it's going to get rough and it's going to get bumpy, and so you have to know that you made a commitment and you entered into a covenant And this covenant is between yourself, your husband, and God, or well, in your case, yourself, your wife, and God.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I clarify that. And yeah, so the person's supposed to have that sense of I'm committed to this person, I'm committed my life to this person, my love to this person, and so to stay in a marriage, and you should always have love, right? But what I'm saying is, even though you don't feel love, so people feel that in the marriage you always have to feel the love, right? You always have to feel in love, and the love, it always has to be there on the forefront. But that's not always the case. Stuff happens, they have issues. But in times like that, you need to understand commitment, right? So even though
Yeah.
you're not necessarily feeling the love, you made a commitment. This is my choice. This is the person I choose to love, because love is a choice. It comes down to a choice, like the gentleman said we read earlier. It's a choice I am making to love you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so commitment is important. That your spouse is able to be faithful. That is also important. Kind of similar to commitment, but you have to know that this person not going to. If the person lacks self control or might be dealing with lust, right? So it's not that the person don't love you. A lot of people, you might say, okay, in a marriage, and if the person cheats, or I'm not talking about somebody who's cheating all the time and just lying and living that lifestyle. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say somebody does fall into that kind of situation. It's not necessarily um, because of something that you did. Let's say the man cheats on the woman. It's not because you're not attractive, you're not doing what you're supposed to do as a wife. It could be that he is dealing with a serious lust problem, right? Or has some, issue and went out, and so I think knowing that you have a husband or a wife who is able to be faithful to you, and not just, the first person who come along and they get, again, I always say this, that people feel because you're married, you would never feel an attraction to somebody else, which is not true. And so you want to know that your husband or wife has self control and is
Mm-hmm.
able to be faithful to you in no matter what situation, no matter what is thrown at them, literally, no matter what come your way, that you're
Yeah.
able to be faithful. And I think, um, which is why I always advise, I don't want to go off too much, but like if couples are dating, and I mean, and this is me, this is my personal opinion. I'm not saying this has to be the case, but to me, if you dating somebody and they were unfaithful in that part of your relationship while you're dating, I would tell you just don't even bother. Because to me, that is showing that you lack faithfulness, is not a part of your character. You can't
Right.
even be faithful to me while we dating. So, in my opinion, marrying that person is taking a big risk.
Right.
So that's how I look at that. Faithfulness, and what's the third one that you need for marriage? Um, Proper communication is good. Being able to communicate with each other is good.
Mm-hmm.
That both parties able to communicate in a healthy way, and that it's not that one person always doing the communicating and you have to be pulling from the you know what I mean? If there isn't communication, there's always misunderstanding. Because of lack of communication, that is a problem as well. So two people who are open about issues and able to talk about it, able to have a proper, you're not agreeing with each other, but you're not boiling down the place. And we're not having a cuss out, you understand? But we
Yeah.
disagreeing and we talking and we communicating and we trying to come to a solution and we working things out. That's also important, because that causes a lot of problems in a
Mm-hmm.
marriage where there's no communication, or where one person closed up or hard. You have to always be fighting them to to get them to even
Explain
open
yourself
up.
or something.
Yeah. That wears on you after a while. So that'd be my three. And I mean, yeah, of course attraction, but
What do you think, Mark? You want to add anything to that? You guys are the married couples here.
Hey, well, I would just say from both parties, in marriage is about love and loving each other. I mean, you had to know, you had to have a foundation in God, and knowing God love in some type of way. Like I believe you need to have an encounter with God, because that's what Adam would have, encounters with God. And I believe you need to have that encounter with God in your personally, so you will know what love feels like, because you've received love from God now to have that relationship, so you will know how to pattern your love. You'll know what love really should be like. You will know what is being selfish. You'll know what is being long suffering. You know what is forgiving and different things. I think really having an encounter with God will give you a good foundation on how to love your wife and really guide her. But let me say guide her, like guide your children and the
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah. I would just maybe add value. Like if you had to really value people, I think that's important because like Unika say, you would have bad communication. At times you would lash out even when you're all having conversations, you might lash out and say something hurtful. But when you value somebody, you go back and you're humble enough to say sorry and really be able to, like I said, that is, I think, that is where it's form a better, even more communication with somebody when you really value somebody and you could really see the good in them. That is not just like when you put, because let's be real, all here. If it is you're saying two things, right? You had to go unconditional love and you had to have some kind of eros. You realize maybe the friendship not fully there as yet. So
Yeah.
you would realize something. That is something you would constantly always have to work on in a relationship. And I think remember at the end of the day, guys, marriage is a unique thing that is linked to choice. When it comes to love, it means that your friends, even though it's a choice, it's a choice too, right? But like when it compared to children, it's a love you had to do. You know what I mean? The children is a commitment you make when you have a child. But when it comes to marriage, you could actually choose a person and divorce them and move on with your life. So it means there's a way out. That if it is you want to do, remember the Bible have conditions, you can't go and remarry. But it's a choice you're going to be making daily with this person to always be committed to them, to be loving them, to be doing, and you had to be willing to, I would say, to add to that value. And I think intimacy. I think you had to be willing to be intimate with the person. Here, what I mean, I'm not talking about sexually alone. I'm talking about, when we talk about the eros with you realize something, right? When God describes his kind of love for us, he actually talks about it in an intimate way, where he says, I and you and you and me, and we become one. He talks about the man, the husband, and wife becoming one. It's actually a high level of intimacy. Think about this, right? Intimacy requires as well in our marriage that you're supposed to be able to tell the person how you're feeling and not feel hurt and judge and condemn and feeling bad. And because that's where it's have a lot of confusion in our marriage, because people can just be living their life and on their own, they're not doing things and they're feeling like they're offending you, especially with men. Men could operate on a level where they don't necessarily, they're not thinking the things that they're doing are affecting you. And it's not something bad, it's just how they're operating. And if the woman and the man don't have a sense of intimacy to open up and say, well, this is how you actually make me feel, and this is how you make me, and they have that sense of to be vulnerable and tell somebody that when you say these things, I feel a certain way, and maybe they go and maybe the man and the people say, well, why you feel that way? Is that your father used to treat you a certain way? Those kind of conversations, believe it or not, it need to be had in a really that's the kind of, when you get married, that's the kind of conversations you need to have, because you're trying to be one with somebody, and being one with somebody is almost like you're coming on the same page with them. It's like it's not necessary you're always on the good part or the bad part, it's just that we are on one in this. So when I'll give you an example, when two people talking outside in the marriage, inwardly both are on the same page and know what is going on. That is actually the same kind of communication God wants us to have with him. When people saying all kind of opinions, inwardly we share the same opinion about ourselves. It's like almost like a hearing thoughts, and even hearing the devil thoughts, and inwardly you have an intimacy with God where it feels like, I hear what you're saying, brother, but I know my wife, I know Jesus. You catch where I'm coming from, and that is the kind of that I think that is something that people must be willing to desire in our marriage. They must be willing to desire a high level of intimacy with somebody, that to share the failures, to share the different things, to know for that both of they would be on the same page. It's not necessary to just share your life, because that both of they will be on the same page. So when situations happen in life, both of they could go through it together, because trust me, that is where it's bring midlife crisis and all kind of different problems, and both people actually maybe to a point where they see in themselves a different way. Like men, they reach a certain point, they're not feeling fulfilled, they're going through midlife crisis. I'm sure if the wife and knows certain things that she'll be able to help him in certain needs, but many times people don't do that. They don't open up, they don't do that, and they just go and find the younger woman, they do different things. And it's important that I think both parties understand that intimacy is needed. It's actually what requires us, that Jesus is clear. That level of intimacy is what is needed for our relationship to last. It means him and me and Jesus. Yeah, and that is actually what is needed for our relationship to last in marriage. When God say how God referred to Christ and the church, that is actually the level of intimacy he talking about. That's what it means when he says that as a man, and gave himself for her. many times you realize that you had to be willing to humble yourself and a man as a man when you're talking and you realize because sometimes the woman might be a little emotional right now and maybe you seeing things on a logical thing and have the answers and solutions, but she just not living in that moment and you had to be willing to step down on that level and relate to that person in that kind of way and vice versa. The woman might not do the same thing. And it's important for people to really see intimacy as a goal in marriage. Not necessarily what I mean by that. It's clear this guys. I'm not talking about sex here alone, right? So people many times men that's what I need to have my sex, I need to do this and that. And do you know even in the Bible is clear about that. It's something you should put aside for your husband and your wife, right? The Bible say your body, and that's when it talks about your body is no longer your own. It's actually talking about physical intimacy. That if it is your husband and want to have that thing, no, because who else they gonna go to? It's kind of unfair. I'll give you an example, right? It's kind of unfair that if it is you're married to somebody and you don't want to have physical intimacy, I'm not saying somebody to be an idiot and every day if they're not doing something, you vex and but it's a practical thing. If it is you're saying to a man, I'm going to commit my body and my life to you for the rest and my body belong to you, it's kind of understandable if the man wants to have that kind of physical intimacy that the only person he could go to is you. Else you leave room for the devil to interfere with your marriage. That is actually what the Bible is explaining all of that. It gives the room for the man to, if it is this is what part of our marriage, physical intimacy, if it is you want me to go somewhere else. Now, obviously built on that, it requires a higher level of love, where it is you had to love somebody unconditionally, like Onika said, faithfulness, self-control, all those things require, because what if something happened and the woman can't have physical intimacy? You need more than that to sustain you in your marriage. You catch where I'm coming from, right? You need a higher percent of love. But it's clear when the Bible talks about the relationship, there's certain aspects that both people must be willing to deal with and open up, and but that's a side thing, right? But the point I really wanted to make was intimacy in the emotional and the spiritual realm, where both of y'all know each other to a point where you could trust somebody with your weaknesses. That's something God desires for both people to have and want. Now, initially, that might be the case, because initially when you have a friendship or any relationship, you don't open up to somebody and just tell them, but I feel like a loser sometimes. Nobody's do that, because you open up a side of you for criticism where people judge you, when they make statements about you, and in them moments in your life is make or break in a relationship. Because you would interpret where you're hearing in a bad way and it could affect your relationship in a big way. You could come out, but every time I talk to this person, I feel like trash. And it's not the case. It's not that how the person wants you to feel, but it's something you need to work on. I don't know if anybody has anything I want to say. Right now, a lot of people just I guess silent. They're just listening. I don't know what is happening.
Comments, man.
I know, but I know it's a lot to just talk about. Somebody just said this is a deep topic, but it's just a real thing. Yeah, when I get married, Mark, we will do something on for the men. Don't worry yourself.
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to share before we go?
I would just say that
Look, the Bluetooth internet. What's that? Anyhow, good.
Every person have a beauty to them.
Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
No. I know of people who like a wrong number call and they call back and I know it's a wrong number and end up talking and like you end up talking on the phone through wrong number and you never see the person and love
myself,
and
man. That's myself, man. Yeah. So, that's myself. I never meet the person in actual life and I like the person. But I can tell you this, I'll be honest with yourself. If the person gonna be a little attractive, and I'll review, but the person was kind of real attractive to me, right? But if the person wasn't as attractive, because I tell you the opposite of a story. I met somebody on ICQ and the person was not attractive. And I hurt that person very bad in their life. Because I basically, when I met them up, I played double side of the coin and with a partner and I say, Breads, act as me. Because she was with an attractive friend. So I was just wondering, which one is the person? So I say, hey, what to do, right? Act as me, and let me see how this thing go. And if depending on what the person is, because the person not from here, right? My partner, he was from Trinidad. So I say, Breads, you have nothing to lose. Let me do this. And when the back boss, the person to me, because if the person never hear this again, I had to go through some time in my life where I tell the person sorry some point in time, right? But my point is this, right? At that point in time, Mark, I really was kind of, I was really I say,
Great.
nah, but I dissed that person very hard. I actually basically stopped talking to the person the same day. I was like, nah, boy.
Yeah.
But if I watch it, we're like, sorry. Sorry, as a man, a carnal man back then, you know? I didn't care about people's feelings to that point, and you know? But anyhow, yeah.
To be honest, something like that happened to me years ago when I was in my early teens, my mid teens. My phone was in my bag and called a number and the girl called back and realized it's the bag call Anna. And we used to talk and thing. I don't know who it is. And we get kinda close. And I just was like yeah. I was like I asked God like what you saying in this boy? Like should I be close to this person? And I checked my balance on my phone and I had $6.66. And I say, well, okay, God. Yeah.
And that was your sign. That was your sign, Mark.
Because I realized like she was getting a particular way, like she was getting like the like man thing now. But I was just a consult God.
So they were miss each other.
Yeah.
Actually,
Well, it's anyhow. I guess
Evaluating.
I went.
The
I
I
went
get a
with my
story.
sister. I went with my sister to
Chelsea.
yeah. I made sure she was wrong and I met her, but it wasn't.
But if he don't have some man talking to her, but he bring his little sister.
Yeah, because if any kind of temptation come, I have no. It was like a safeguard for myself, even though I know that I was okay. I don't trust myself. Yeah, no good conscience. I just used to go with my sister for accountability. But anyhow,
The girl was nice.
she was a girl.
Oh gosh.
What wrong is if the girl nice, Mark?
Yeah, it was somebody of East Indian descent. Somebody of
What I
young.
had to do with being attractive, Mark, is if the person
Why
attractive or not.
how her race come in this?
Chinese person, you know.
He just described it.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody of that background and thing, and they were a very cool person. But the Lord didn't give me the okay now. But I said all that to say that even if somebody is like a friend or you see them as a friend or something, you could you could go deeper because everybody have something about them that you could like that. Just go beyond the physical at times. I've seen it.
Of course. I think that's a big thing, but you gotta get to know somebody for that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta line with person, and you can have especially men are very like you hear me, I admit it. My life is not so no more. I'm not so insensitive. Maybe some people say I'm very still insensitive, but to that
Amen.
degree, I was very, very insensitive. But my point is this, right? That when it is you actually start to get to know somebody, I think women more capable of doing that, liking somebody not based upon the physical attraction. I just you see it plenty
Can I
times that women.
ask you and
Mhm.
Mark a question?
You can.
As men, right?
Mhm.
What do you think about a man who has a friend, a good friend, somebody they consider a really good friend? They close to the person, they getting along with the person, right? Somebody they had like a real good friendship with, right? Person respect them, they respect whatever. But they're not on the attracted side so much, right? Not saying the person ugly. They're not
Mhm.
so much on the attracted side, but they really value the person as a friend. And their thoughts are, I wonder if I should try to get romantically involved. They're not romantically involved. What do you think about that kind of scenario? They're not their friends and the
You go
person
for you
consider it.
go first, Mark. You are the man full of wisdom. You go ahead.
Yeah. So just to make sure you have a good friend, everything your relationship good.
They know this person for a while, Onika. Like they know them, like they really know them.
Yeah, it's a friend. Yeah, it's a friend. Yeah.
Yeah. You got Mark, yeah.
I feel, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if you have to. if you had to give it a shot, hey, why not? Like, would you give it a give it the opportunity to say, okay, let's date
Let's
and
try.
see.
Let's date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you're not attracted.
Well, not it's not your type. It's not somebody you never saw them that way. It's just you all really click otherwise.
I think you could, what I would do is I would just probably be open with the person and say, let's at this point, I don't feel like it's anything serious, but let's date and see where it goes.
Ava, what you laughing at, darling?
I was thinking about your question.
About
I
what?
think a woman might faster do than a man would. But I think
Well, that's what Mark was saying before. That's why I asked the question.
You
What
mean
about the
Kyle?
man's side
Yeah,
with
what I
doing
was saying,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. That's yeah. What's a joke though, Ava?
I think you might help your Mark, right? I think the person could do it. Here's why I think the person could do it, right? There's my only reason why I would say the person could do it, and the person had to be open about this, right? If I have a friendship with a girl, right? Like, let's say anybody, right? I don't want to call no names, but let's have I would actually value that friendship. I would never in my life think of considering that because that's the type of relationship I have with them. You catch where I'm coming from, right? That's how I view them. That's just personally me. Because I,
Mm.
as a man, I know if I with you, the reason why I not do like it so is because as much as he's a good person and a caring person, I don't view it that way. But if some part of me viewing me that way, there's something in you I find attractive.
You mean if you're even considering it?
Yeah, that is something inside of me view you as some sense of attraction. It may be how you make me feel, how it is when I line with
Okay.
you, you make me feel like I can really
Okay.
get, and I find attraction in there. You catch where I'm coming from,
Okay.
right? It don't
Right.
necessarily be fit. That is why I would tell the person to figure out if it is, that is the sense.
Okay.
But if it is you just want to experiment with people and thing, I would wonder because is that really a friend that you just want to just hurt them and treat them like that? If it is, if it
If
is
it don't
maybe
work, if it don't,
yeah, if it don't
yeah,
work, what will happen to your friendship then? You get
correct.
where I'm coming from, right? I'll give an next
And a
example, right?
friendship.
I'll give an next example, right? I am confident to a point that my fiance and my wife to be must be comfortable with the people who I am friends with. And it would be kind of weird if I'm real close with somebody and my fiance find out we try a thing. It means that some point in the relationship, it wasn't just based upon you can track. It was our relationship wasn't just like that. It also we had a little connection that is more. I could understand her feeling uncomfortable when we line up.
Oh, if you're friends with the person still.
Yeah, if you're
Yes.
still friends
Yeah,
with the
agreed.
person still, it
Agreed.
can have a
Yes.
weirdness. You
Yes,
catch what
yes,
coming? At
yes.
least for me,
Yeah.
because in the opposite part, right, Mark? You find out Ava was real good with that fella. And you know you accept that all they're cool now. Like even in champion, they're real cool right now. She's your friend. But then you
Yeah.
get to know more and you find out wait now all you had that kind of relationship where you're trying to get to each you would feel that kind of awkward way when the person communicating and talking
True.
to her. You'd wonder what's this person's intentions, you'd wonder how you still feel about the person like in that because at some point in time you're trying to get something more to the relationship and the friendship. You catch where I'm coming from, right? And I personally think you had to be able to see the consequences of the things you do in life. Life don't just happen in a vapor and you feel like you're just gonna live with it. There's things that happen.
I think there's some good points you bring up. What I was initially thinking is if I had to be so thinking about, all right, should I give it a try? I was feeling like something a little off here
Yes.
because, like, when I would have seen Avon thing, I always had a sense of something special here, boy. Long time, I was you.
No, but the point Onika making though, the point he was making before, women will quicker do that, Mark.
True.
Yeah.
Do it quicker, and they would actually like end up liking the person, and they would
Yeah.
actually tell, they
True.
don't necessarily, but the attraction turns to much more for them. They actually turn physically attracted to the person after.
Yes, yes, for
They
true, for
actually
true.
turn
Women,
physically
yeah.
because when they
Yeah.
see the person, there's a high attraction that with them and different things like that. But so the point Onika was making is if it is a man in the same situation, do you think he should do that?
I know what Mark trying to say exactly.
Yeah.
I know he trying to
I
say
know
that.
exactly what he's trying to say. If you even
I
have to
think you could,
deliberate,
Yeah.
yes, it could. But I know your point because it's supposed to be
Yeah.
love, right? Marriage and
Yeah.
it's supposed to be love and romance and passion is a part of it. And if I had to sit down and say,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? As the
Yeah.
woman, Eva, let me ask you a question. How you would feel if you know that's how Mark was considering you? Like, If I should try, I'm not so attracted, but she real cool. How you'd feel like to know his coming towards you was not based on attraction.
I can see how that could be an issue, but I think if I reach a okay, if I don't know it in the beginning, then fine. Like if you don't admit that to me there and then I can see everything being normal. Because my thing is I can understand how somebody can feel that way in the early stages because I am a firm believer that when you get to know somebody,
But
I
this is
believe
not early stages,
affection.
Eva. This person know this person for years, so they know the person.
Hmm.
They're friends for years. Not it's not no early stages, and they're still not attracted. So after like eight
So,
nine
but
years,
they're not attracted to them physically.
correct, physically.
All right. That's
No, but
important to say, because they
I
might have a sense of
really
attraction in other ways, but anyhow, go ahead.
yeah, exactly. So that's where I kind of on the fence about it because I think I
But
will feel a type of way to know this person, okay, it's like a battle. Like I had a fight within myself to reach that place to say, okay, let me try something or let me like you're forcing yourself almost to become
Right,
attracted to the
right.
person. I find that's wrong. If you feel like you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
force yourself to become attracted to somebody, then it's best to forget that.
Forget
But
that. Yeah, yeah.
I can
It-
see when somebody in a relationship and
Right.
they begin that
Yeah,
through that communication and
yeah,
knowing each other, you can get attracted to
yeah, things
somebody
could
yeah.
develop.
outside of physical,
Yeah,
and those things can then in return bring physical attraction. Somehow I don't know how, but it can still bring a physical
It's true.
attraction to you towards that person. So
yeah,
that's why I would say I kind of on the fence about it. So I kind of
Right.
get it.
yeah.
what this just saying here is that men are very shallow and carnal. That is what it's just saying here. That a man,
No,
I'm
no,
just saying this
men.
right now
No,
because we
but
making an excuse for the women, but somehow for the men, you can more understandable that a man, if it is
nah.
you're
I
fighting
think
up.
men are more visual. I think that's just natural. Men.
But
I
what
think that's just
Oh
but
natural.
what I do
gosh.
know is even if you're not attracted, like in a big way, it could work still because it was it was Jacob, Isaac, and Esau. It was
Yes,
Isaac,
Jacob and Leah. Jacob and
Jacob,
Leah.
right? It was Jacob and Leah. Somehow he was still able to have to consummate the marriage and thing. Basically, different things did happen in spite of the challenges. So I don't know. I guess each situation unique, but
We know
but
that's his
you,
wife. You know that
you
was his wife after, right? Remember, Rachel
yeah,
died. Yeah, she
yeah,
died in
that
childbirth. You know.
Rachel, yeah, she
Yeah, she
eventually,
died, and that was his wife. I don't know. Most likely he married. I don't know if he married somebody else after. 'Cause, people have maybe
yeah.
multiple, but we know for a
But
fact
I
that
could
that was his
understand,
wife. Sometime.
but I could understand the risk you're saying. Like if somebody really is a friend and going on to that level, that it could change the dynamics
Dynamics of the
of the
friendship. You never
friendship.
probably never get back that friendship you had
True,
Yeah.
if it don't work. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
But
I
I
would
say
say,
personally, for me, if I beaten up and I feeling so, I don't not force myself to be in a relationship with nobody. If that's something like that had to be a byproduct of it naturally happening, and that'll go be my story. In other words, that'll be my story one day that I wasn't really so much when I see this girl, but boy, I can't stop watching. She know and that gonna be my story. It ain't gonna be me going and having a conversation with somebody and saying, boy, Mark, it is girl I talking to and thing. But I don't find she attractive, but I really like the quality she have. I don't even have a conversation I gonna have with people. That is, that is just something will eventually happen. You catch where I'm coming from, right? That I go make that decision and you get to know the person and you make the risk and whatever happen, it happen and you're willing to live with it after, right? I wouldn't necessary, um, go down that route. I would tell anybody in that situation, don't torment your soul. And also too, like I said, there's a consequence of everything. You don't treat people like that. You can try from me, do if it is because that's a harsh reality for anybody to deal with. I really like you as a person and I like how you make me feel basic. Girl, I don't like finding you attractive. Especially for women. I think men quicker deal with that. A man
Yeah,
quicker
yeah, yeah.
accept that I was not attractive and because but a man quicker because you want to say, boy, I get through it any day. That's why a man quicker deal with it petty like that. A man quicker say, well, boy, I pay you work and I get through. A woman,
well,
she would
yeah,
quicker deal with looks and start to feel insecure and it could be a different aspect for the woman in that kind of way.
You see
Wait, when I say
why
Mark?
I understood too, especially before I was me and Eva was together or just in general, there's an element of choice, eh? Everybody have a choice of I could choose to be with you or not. And I know once I pursuing somebody, like when I was going to Eva, there's a possibility I could be rejected. I'm not gonna let that be the end of my world or feel like I worthless or anything like that. I understood the risks, and I went into it from a point that hey, I accepted by God, and hey, if I get rejected, hey, I believe God will. He put me here to he have somebody for me, and then necessarily like affect me more than I needed to because I wasn't too sure if I did really real was interested in me and thing in the beginning. To be honest, I didn't get that feeling, but
You're paying
I
your
know
work.
I know
So
what was my mission.
You're paying your
that
work.
speech, Mark, that speech you give there, it applies to other things too. Other things you might have applied for, and that, that whole speech, rejection, everything, just move on.
It's a parable here, boy. Right?
Your life is a parable, don't worry. Anyhow, guys, let's wrap up. Eva, what to do? It was awesome. It's an awesome show. You know, it's just an interesting topic because we hear in this world today we hear plenty people making choices for marriage. With some women just marry men for money, different things. They see the value of him having money thing because they have a good family, they would have children. And it's not necessarily this big passionate love, and sometimes it happen. It comes with love, and then also sometimes it never happen because that's the kind of relationship you established. And the man cheating, you do know ever, and hence the reason. So I think Onika shared some great points. Mark and Eva shared some great points that maybe you all consider. And when it comes to valuing people and choosing marriage, because marriage is a choice that God has given us. He does not force nobody to marry anybody. Maybe one day we could talk on our show about is it important to hear the voice of God before you choose their spouse? Because some people would say that they don't even hear God's voice. And is hearing God's voice the end all and be all? Because God don't treat us like that, right? At the end of the day, God can tell you, yeah, Mark, that Eva is your wife, and you can mess up that whole entire thing. You catch where I'm coming from, right? And it's not God. It's your decisions and your things that make it happen. You catch where I'm coming from, right? And even so, it's a commitment we're gonna make. That's why it's a sad thing to hear people say, on the day, something was telling me,
Boy,
something was telling me. God don't care. God don't want to hear about that. God wants to hear about your commitment you have with the woman now. Though you coming and telling me because in us, remember our big picture we say, right? In us, if it is we in Christ, all of us have the capability of loving the unlovable. We all have it. That's how God, that's the spirit of God inside of us and working with us. So there are times in your marriage where things might seem the best, but God has given you the ability to love somebody because there are a lot of people who got married for 10, 15 years. It wasn't the easiest. It wasn't the best. They had things they had to ride out, they had to work on. But at the end of the day, it requires more on each other. But Mark and Eva, you all want to close off the show with you all have to pick somebody who's gonna win.
Next quick question. Their customers.
A
Same
customer.
price. I saw it for children. Same 150. Same 150. That question.
Is it the same
Same price.
same cost, right? So lovely Rose, your question I'm gonna answer there, right? Mix you all have like an age group you'll recommend?
I wouldn't recommend it for children. I would say 7 and under, not because of the content. It's not a short play, and that age group. I mean, we saw it in when we did it in Arima. That age they get restless, and when you're in a play, you're listening, and so you don't want to bring small children, but again, not because of the content, but it's really it's a lot of listening.
but Onika, I saw a lot of young children, probably in that age, was raise their hand and think they give their life to the Lord in a reminder.
Yes, yes, but they distract the parents. I agree, but it's a
There's a lot of
distraction.
them too who was lifting up the child and going outside too now.
Yeah, and going outside all the
Okay.
time and crying
Okay,
inside, and
remember, especially in this what we doing is an
well, yeah.
auditorium,
In
and you had
Central
a
Bank, they
hair.
actually have rules. Yeah, if the
Yeah,
child crying, you have to go outside. You can't come inside at all. You
yeah, because
know,
remember it's
so
just
it makes no
acoustics.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, if it's a child that could sit on your lap, you're not going to get charged for such, but infant that is on your lap, right? But once the child need a seat, it's going to be the same price. But I wouldn't, like a 4 year old, a 5 year old, I wouldn't recommend that you bring a 5 year old, 4 year old, 5 year old, even 6 year old. You know, it's long to sit down and listen. You know, so but in terms of the content, it's appropriate for all ages.
Yeah, we are nothing,
Sometimes
you know.
Prophet Houston does get a little thing when he asks when he asks James if he's a vegetarian. He say he's eating meat down to the bone. You know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know you know the profit.
I
What
didn't know food.
face?
I didn't know food could reach that level. We can. The kitchen hot, right?
Comment, right?
Up to the bone.
He laughing at himself. He entertaining himself.
Right, but I'll just try not because just it's a good meal and things get attracted to each other. AJ Allen says we are
Is
intoxicated.
Ava soft or is it just me?
Yeah, Eva song and far, like your
Your
song and
song
far.
and far. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
My face was away from the mic. You hear me
Nah.
better now?
Some talk
Okay, I'll
again.
try to speak louder. Justina Batiste Thompson, Delilah, a typical example. Shika Thomas, I want my molly cheese. We talk about cheese?
You talking about cheese? No.
So we're talking about food and meat and things.
Thompson Solomon.
That's not a statement. People is what something and eat the cheese too or something with this. It's a
Uh,
statement people
uh,
they say.
yeah, whatever. I don't
So
know.
you
Who the
basically saying you
cheese?
stay where you cheese, yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. Alberto, can you marry someone you're not ravishing for or just a cool friendship? Well, I guess we just talked about that. Like Alberto say
Yeah.
question answered. Firstly, they're attracted to the money, house, jewelry, car, food. Justina Batiste, yes, you must have some type of attraction, both physically and emotionally. Lovely rules. Some people marry to satisfy their needs, and everyone has different needs. Justina, it will create a breakdown in marriage if there's no attraction. It's stressful as time goes by. Let me see where we go. Let me go in. Justina also said just to satisfy their perverted mind, so they go with other people. Marlon says marriage is a beautiful thing. Choosing love is faithfulness to God. Kwasi, like when you get old and wrinkled, you still have that passion to love. Even when you're sick, you still love them. Justina says commitment is important, and my philosophy is two wrongs don't make a right. Um, Alberto, what is with you and Ravishing tonight? Justina
Yeah,
Batiste,
boy. I
true
think you
and
want somebody to
married.
ravish.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
pretty.
Oh,
True
Salah.
and married
I
is
won't
a
comment.
recipe
So go
for
ahead.
disaster. Not sure. Lovely rule. But then some people see dating as getting to know someone, not really commitment. Good night to you, Aniala. Diane had a comment here. I hope this is the whole thing. Everyone doesn't stay beautiful. Sometimes injuries happen baby after baby is born. Shapes and faces age, both female and male. So love is something that is needed to start with. Love is something that is needed to start with. Love matures into a more deep commitment, respect for each other. My husband is a faithful and true man. Justina says fighting to have a decent conversation. Some men find women talk too much. Yes. Tiana Kwame, I knew a guy who's gay and was working on those things with himself, trying to live the right lifestyle. He was very judgy, almost making excuses why no woman was good enough and keeping really high standards, which is good, I guess. But yeah, insecurities for some people will obscure choices. Lovely Rose, you have nakedness with each other. I think this is based on something either
Yeah.
you or Kyle was saying. Justina, women are more sensitive. Yes, we know this. AJ Allen, men aren't cultured to be open and vulnerable. Justina says, wow, That's what it's about. Our high and lows are embraced. Let me see. I will just say kind of so right. I like the. I feel it's intimacy. He is saying there. Justina, but it is true you have to ask God to take control of yourself if one husband cannot fulfill one. If one husband cannot fulfill one physical needs due to illness. Scroll past it. Yeah. Just give me a minute here. I lost where I was. Well, everybody laughing. Not Magan is 666.
Hmm.
Tiana Kwame says, or Youth Chronicles, AJ Allen, woman does know when a next woman wants. Woman does know when a next woman wants she. When your wife tell you watch that girl, fellas, just to block that girl inside. Oh, he basically saying you, the person you would tend to know things or might see things that you may not necessarily see. Diane had a comment. I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole comment. Okay, almost married for 60 years, but before I met my husband, I did almost marry someone else. He was a wonderful guy, knowing him all through his high school. His family loved me and me them. He was the captain of the football team, and I was a cheerleader in band together. We always loved each other, had a great respect for each other. I feel like if I was reading a Taylor Swift, these lyrics that Taylor Swift sounded. He asked me to marry him after graduation. He would bend over backwards and doing things to please me. So I said yes. Soon, though, I felt everything was too perfect, but I wasn't feeling. I had a true love for him as I should, but it was more love and respect for a dear friend. I broke off the engagement. The next month, my mother told me that my grandmother had a dream about him where he had been too good to me but was pulled something off and turned into a wife beater to me. That's a serious one. Let me see what else we have here. Don Francis
And
in
as a dream though.
yeah,
Hmm.
it is a dream. At the end, and I thought he really turned into a wife because in the
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I
can't make
realized
a
it
yeah,
was that was all in the dream. John
yeah.
Francis is a common thing. I really don't know how it happens. I can't remember what I was referring to there. Mashika, if the friend you once had a connection, which is now married and you're married, though, I think this is what we're talking about. Justina, Batiste, they are platonic friends. They are just not attracted physically. Justina, Batiste married Leah, but he loved Rachel. Diane, I've been Tiana Kwame Beauty again, though Jacob already had Leah, a good virtuous woman. He still sold his services to the father to get racial physical attraction. By all means, he had to have his choice. Note, any woman is the same as the woman or man we choose. Note, any woman is the same. Mashika says every holy bread have the moldy cheese.
Oh,
As as I see. Okay, so the second and final giveaway tonight to right, so the second and final giveaway tonight for a ticket to the last flight on Awesome again, guys. I'll just remind you, every single one of you viewing is a really awesome production. I really want to encourage you all to purchase your tickets. I think tickets are selling out really quickly. So I encourage all of you to really get on that train. Make sure you buy a ticket. You are not going to regret it. I guarantee you, you're not going to regret it. It's really awesome. You get 10 times your money's worth by purchasing the ticket. I can guarantee you, not even 10 times more. I talk about value and what you really getting when you do when you're a part of this production, when you get to experience it. And it truly is not something where you sit and you just look, it's truly an experience. Like that's how good it is. All right, so my final giveaway is actually going to go to Tiana Kwame. Tiana, I can't remember if you said you were a first time viewer, but I really don't remember seeing your name here before, and I always love doing giveaways to first time viewers. So we look forward to meeting you, Tiana, and also Sunny Tony. I want to remind you all just inbox us so you can make some arrangements to receive your prizes tonight, especially because remember there's a time limit on this one, all right? We play it on the 21st of August at 6 p.m. at Central Park. Okay, so we're looking forward to meeting you, Tiana and Sunny Tony. Guys, and we also look forward to seeing all of you in the next show. And who knows, maybe in the play as well, all right? So I'm going to encourage all of you here, all of you viewing, message us, find out how you can get your tickets to be a part of this, to be able to witness this awesome production. My birthday is the 22nd of August. Wow, look at that. Well, I hope
Happy
that means
birthday.
you can come at Tiana. That's just gonna be like that's gonna be an extra. That's gonna start your birthday off like real good right there. So I just start your birthday off. Okay, well, next technically, as next giving but we just started your birthday off there on a really high note. So congratulations to you, congratulations to Sunny Tony. Guys, we look forward to seeing all of you in our next show. We are here every other Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Feel free to inbox us if there's a topic that you feel like you'd love to hear us discuss. We probably never did it before. Maybe we did it, who knows, but just feel free to let us know if you want us to talk about something in particular, right? We love hearing from you. Can I get a ticket? Maria, you did not comment, so no. Sorry, guys, this is my sister. This is not.
She could reach out.
Oh yeah, you can get a ticket. You can buy a ticket. I thought she meant you should get a free ticket. But you have to comment throughout the show in order to receive a prize, love. But guys, thanks so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you in our next show. We are here every other Saturday, 7:30. I just said that, and I just want to remind all of you, if you enjoy what you see tonight, remember to like our page, even like the show on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and make sure you click on the notifications. So every time we go live, guys, you're here with us because we love having you. We love communicating with you. We love hearing what you all have to say. Sometimes we catch our little kicks with each other. It's really awesome sharing with you all tonight. And we look forward to seeing you at the next show. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. I just wanted everybody to see Onika's face before they go.
That's wickedness.
You're muted, Onika. I think you're muted.
Why would you do that? Why? That's wickedness.
That's not wickedness. That's
It is wickedness.
everybody wanted to see
Good night,
your face
guys.
before we go. Yeah.